The second assumption is the epistemologic assumption, which asks the question, how is the inquirer related to those being studied? In the positivist paradigm, the inquirer is independent of those being studied, while in the naturalistic paradigm, the inquirer interacts with those being studied, and findings reflect interaction. Now, in the positivist paradigm, where we equate in quantitative research, the researcher do not have influence over the answers of the participants. For example, in a survey, the researcher will only administer the task, gather the questionnaire, score them, tally them, and subject them to statistical treatment. Now, there is no influence, not unless the researcher will try to provide an answer. In the naturalistic paradigm, wherein we equate this with qualitative research, we do interviews, observations, and participations, which are highly interactive in nature. Without interaction, data are not gathered. Now, how do we apply this in practice? In a quantitative study, objectivity is sought, and therefore, we need to provide control. That is why we need to maintain distance, so that we will not have any influence over the participant's answer. Now, in a qualitative research, the researcher attempts to minimize distance between the self and the object of inquiry, and we call this objective separateness. We need to interact so that we can obtain data. In quantitative studies, we utilize tools and scales as instruments. This makes the researcher more objective. However, in qualitative study, it's different because we are the main instrument of the study. This is because we conduct the interview, observation, and participation. Now, in interview, we are aided with schedules, guides, and audio recorder. An interview schedule is done when you are doing a structured interview. We ask all the questions enumerated in the schedule. An interview guide is done when you are doing an unstructured interview. This means that we do not ask all the questions enumerated. It only serves as a guide. We may also ask questions not listed there. The general rule is to pick the question based from their previous answer. Now, there is what we call a semi-structured interviews. And in this case, we utilize both an interview schedule or an interview guide. An audio recorder is very important to capture the entirety of the interview. As much as possible, we do not jot down notes while conducting the interview. In observation, we do field notes. In the field notes, we jot down all the things that we have observed. The audio-video recorder is very important to capture the entirety of what we have observed. In participation, reflection notes are very important. This is where we jot down our feelings and our experience. We also jot down the feelings and experience in the field notes. Audio-video recorders and audio recorders are very important so that we can review what had transpired. Sometimes in quantitative research, we utilize laboratory work, and in a laboratory, everything is controlled. In qualitative research, we use fieldwork. In fieldwork, we observe everything in a natural setting. Now, we cannot do laboratory work in qualitative research. Why? Because when we do laboratory work, we control the variables. And when we control the variables, the phenomenon is no longer natural. In quantitative studies, we only spend a short period of time, and we utilize the outsider lens. In a qualitative study, researcher collaborates, spends time, do fieldwork with the participants. And in this case, we become an insider. And in qualitative research, we try to document both our outsider view and insider view. Now, the insider view does not only mean your view as the researcher. Take note that those information given by the participants are also an insider view.